I'd like to ask to see if I was being gaslit that recently occurred, or if, as I was told in the situation, eventually it came out I was being an ABW. If that's okay to share with the group.
Angry black woman.
Yes, which probably
Which is a
figured from my
beautiful thing.
ex-husband. I get that often. My son on Tuesday was an offender bender in a car. Little context, it's not a car I pay for. I don't pay for anything on it, not the payment, and I don't cover the car. I don't pay for him to be added to the insurance because I didn't quite disagree with the car choice. I did not think we should buy our son a brand new 2021 car. His father did. I had a price range I was sticking to. So, anyways, long story short, and his father has made it clear, well, it's my car that I'm letting my son use. However, I do contribute to the gas to the car. Every week, or every 2 weeks, I give my son about $110 to fill up his car with gas.
Damn. Trina, you need another child?
That's a lot of money for petrol.
You want to go half on this Costco with me? Because the gas don't cost that much.
It's gas, and it's because he goes to practices and things, and he does drive his sister places. I know he doesn't probably fill that up, but anyways, it's just my contribution. He got an offender bender Tuesday. In the morning on his way to school, he called his father. He didn't call me, and apparently it wasn't a big deal. It was handled X, Y, and Z. When he walked in the door, which wasn't until like 7 o'clock after practice and all this kind of stuff, he tells me, I'm just asking about his day. And he mentions, oh yeah, and this morning I got in a little fender bender. It wasn't a big deal. The car wasn't scratched. Her car wasn't really scratched, but I called father and he told me what to do, which is what he actually calls him, how to exchange and just make sure X, Y, and Z. And I was like, it's 7:30. Why are you telling me you had a fender bender this morning? And he said, quote, father said not to tell you, it's not your car and there's not really anything you can do. So just to wait till I got home to tell you. I was annoyed by that. So probably not the best choice. Called his father, tried not to be an ABW initially, but expressed, don't tell my kids to not tell me something that happens to them. Doesn't matter if it's your car, it's happening to them and they're the person. To which he proceeded to tell me the problem was actually me. I'm controlling. I think I need to know everything in the moment. If there was no injury to him, no major injury to the car, and it's not a car I'm paying for, I'm just being the controlling ABW I always am, needing to know things when I need to know things. What difference if I found out at 7:30 a.m. or 7:30 p.m.? And as I reflected on it, there was some truth to that, but it still felt like I was being gaslit.
Wait a minute. Hold on. You already knew. You know this man, don't you? You met him before? Do you have children with him?
3 of them, of course, yes.
You know this person.
Was his response surprising to you?
No.
What truth is there to what he said?
Well, the truth could be like, if he just calls and says that he got in an accident and say he's okay, she might still be concerned during the day. Maybe something happened, he's scratched. But when he got home and sees her and says, I got an accident earlier, she can see from head to toe he's fine. And that will not cause some huge anxiety or worry throughout the day.
But that's not what her said to her.
Right. I would say the fact that he said, don't tell your mother, that's the one real problem. Like the rest of it is arguable one way or the other.
Home. He said, don't tell your mother till you get home.
Right. And that's the part he was stuck on, Iman, was like, I didn't tell him not to tell you. You're acting like I'm telling him to keep secrets from you. I told him to just wait till you get home to tell you because it's not like it's a big deal. It's nothing.
I agree with him.
That is a secret. That is a secret. Okay. He could have a concussion. He could have been walking around all day with a concussion. You know that your ex might not have checked on that, right? Because what he was concerned with, at least in what you related, is the car and the cost of the car.
Yeah,
it's not like he went out to the accident.
What was the feeling, Trina? What was the feeling that you had?
I mean, the initial feeling was angry. Like, what? Even if all those things were true, why?
Are you allowed to be angry?
I think what Kurt said, the part I didn't like the most was, I don't know, it felt like some power was taking away, like he told my son to do something, and that the fact that my son sided with that, that's what I realized after a while. Maybe, wait, so you mean if your father tells you not to tell me X, Y, and Z, whether it's for 3 hours, 3 minutes, or 3 days, you're gonna roll with that? So if I'm being honest, I think I was more angry with my son that he didn't know to think to himself, yeah,
so
I
you
know.
want your son not to listen?
You want your son to trust his own instincts because your husband took it away from him. Like your son at this age should have his own instinct about when to tell people what.
At this age? What's it?
How old is he?
What age are we talking about?
He's
21? 17. Oh, 17.
At 17, that's they don't.
But
really
the
have
reason
good
it came up,
judgment.
maybe it's because he was going to tell her, right? Maybe he was going to call her.
So what if he told you about the accident, but his father had nothing to do with it in terms of telling you, in terms of the timing? Would
Say
you be
that
mad
again,
at him?
Eric.
So what
Say
if he
that.
came home, he told you about the accident, but his father was not a determining factor on the timing? He waited. It was his choice to wait to tell you later. Would you be mad at him?
Yes. Because it would still remain, I guess, that, well, I mean, yeah, I guess yes was my gut answer to say, but maybe that's it. I think that's the part I keep questioning. If he or his father, but let's say in your scenario presenting, he determined, hey, all was well, scratch wasn't bad, felt fine, it was minimal damage, so I just figured, hey, I'll mention it when I get home. Yes, I think I would still be upset. And so that's what has me questioning it. Then maybe it is a timing issue. Like, no, I want to know now, which of course is what my ex kept harping on. Oh, you just feel like you need to be in the know immediately. And if you don't know something.
Right. So the ex is the trigger, the statement about the ex. Father told me not to tell you, so that's why I didn't tell you. You take that part out of it, and then you'd be mildly irritated by it, maybe. But if you saw that he was okay, then you wouldn't really be asking this question now, is what I'm getting at. So the trigger point is the ex.
Back to Brad.
Well,
what does that make
sure
you
she
feel,
agrees
Trina?
with your reflection, Trina.
Yeah.
Is Eric's summary close?
Yes, I will say, hearing him say, father said not to tell you, sent it to the added, definitely the trigger. I think had he just made that decision, I would have seen that as a 17-year-old boy, first time an offender bender, thinking he made the right choice, not really knowing, and yes, ex-husband, thank you, and talked him through, well, you know, son, I see why you did it this time. However, you know, just in case there are other factors you might not be aware of that could happen in fender bender, just let me know sooner than later. I think I would have maybe just, but yeah, the whole, your father told me just wait till I got home to mention it to you. And then in the conversation with his father, hearing him say, well, it's not your car, you don't pay for it, what difference does it make? You're just being controlling and want to know everything.
I think it's also him using the child as an instrument in that way. Did that set you off? Because he could have called you later in the night. Like you called him.
The ex-husband?
Yeah, he kind of sent this thing through your son.
Yeah, which that is a recurring overarching where he doesn't communicate with me often. He communicates through the children. And it's been, I mean, they're older now, but it's even when they were younger.
Isn't this just the typical?
He's hitting your buttons.
Yeah.
He knows how to do it.
Isn't this the typical?
If you see it through the
I don't
lens
want to
of
tell
him trying to
mommy,
manipulate you.
so I'm going to tell dad because dad won't.
No,
get
no,
mad.
it's to he knows how to manipulate Trina, and that's what he's doing. That's
what
it.
he's saying. Yeah, he knows it's going to make you give him some energy, and you did it.
How can I piss Trina off? Oh, this is the way I'll do it. Done.
So Trina, you're pissed off. What do you want to know?
Yeah, because he's not taking your side, Trina, as a parent. He's not co-parenting. He's not having your son's best interest and being at one with you, which is what good parenting does. Good co-parenting is consistent, you know, both
yes,
parents.
but he's a narcissist.
That's all story. That's all
nobody
story.
does
it's about
good
Trina and her feelings.
Right, but good codependents stomp their foot about it.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
exactly. Good codependents continue to say, which I'm saying me, I don't understand what's the problem. This, you know, we need to effectively co-parent. Like I've said that if I had a daughter, every time I say,
right, it's not going to happen. So finding a way to not react and be like, okay, let me just deal with this with my son. And,
right. And I continue to, I mean, it's increasingly got better over the years where I just but I continue to fall short here and there. And maybe because like some situations are now reoccurring ones that I know to just my kids don't even, but I guess hearing an accident was like, wait, right? Because it's.
So I'm sensing, Trina, that you're defending yourself to us. Are you trying to defend yourself because you feel guilt from whatever your ex poked you with? Is that the issue?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Are you thinking you should have more control over the situation?
Yep. And I'm guess now that I think about it, disappointed that I know it, I see it. You guys are right. And I still allow myself to be pulled in on.
You didn't allow yourself to be pulled in because he knows your buttons.
Here's another way of looking at it.
Get rid of those buttons.
What if your son asked his father, well, should I call mom now and tell her? But the dad recognizes that he's kind of not really thrilled about calling you. I'm just a hypothetical. And so the dad says, well, I guess maybe you should wait till later when you get home. Is that a possibility?
I mean, I can't rule that out, right? I won't make any assumptions about what they talked about. But then if that's the case, then that should have been what was communicated with my son or him. And neither one of those versions was what was communicated. Like if that's what my son said, like,
what the fuck are your triggers right now? I don't, the story happened. Why do we need to go back to the story?
Yeah.
Why are you pissed off, Trina?
Because I continue to allow him to make me upset. And I continue to spend several hours.
Where's the proof that you gave? How do you stop continuing to allow him whatever? If you're making this argument, I allow it. How do you fix that?
I mean, you got upset and you resolved it. It's like, okay, I see what's going on.
She got her buttons poked. That he knows her buttons. And you're helpless because you're co-parenting.
Exactly.
So and I'm more upset that I thought to myself, I like this, what I did what I used to do more frequently in the past was like, well, maybe there was some validity to what he said. Maybe I am being controlling. I guess I could have waited. Like what would have been what is the big deal about me finding out?
Why are you pissed off?
Yes.
Can I also say maybe something behind this is that he insinuated that it wasn't your business when if something had happened to your son, you would be the first person who would be blamed for it, which is why you wanted to know. It's kind of like saying, well, this wasn't your business at the time. Like taking you out of kind of the chain of I don't know, interest in your child.
I still think addressing it
with
your son would be the way to move forward and not have to address it with the ex, who you know is going to be full of shit no matter what, and just write that part off
way.
And say,
what's her button?
Son, this might be a better way to deal with this in the future.
Is it possible that the group is gaslighting Trina? Because the main question is, what is the trigger? And so
we're trying to get at it. That's what we're asking.
Yeah, but all
these other story versions are gaslighting.
Each time they ask her and she's about to get to it, then other opinions come in and she's thrown off again. So let's just
right there,
let her answer the question.
Look who's talking.
You don't want it.
There's your lesson, new people. Ania Khan pointed out all the gaslighting that's happening.
Thank you all for being a part of this.
Where you guys were looking for lessons, or some people left me because we weren't covering gaslighting. The people that are trying to overwrite Trina's story are gaslighting her.
That's a clear example in gaslighting. That's how it happens, because she was there at the core. How do you feel? And notice how before she answers, people put in their own injunctions and other scenarios, and she gets She starts going in 5 different directions.
Think about it this way, or think about it this way, or
It's
focus
very
on this thing.
invalidating.
All of that
It's
is
very
gaslighting.
I'm sorry. I thought Trina was asking for different viewpoints, and that's why she brought it to the group. Maybe I missed something.
Nope. She might have done that, but she's brought it to the group because she's pissed off.
Right. And so
Codependents read that
ask her
as
to
solution
clarify.
fixes and gaslight the abused person.
Do you want our takes on your, what you've shared with us so far? Because none of us was there, but we can go off what you've shared, that part of the story. Do you want that? Or do you just want some validation on your feelings, which of course they're valid, but what did you have in mind?
No, I don't think validation on my feelings. I think the place.
She doesn't want validation.
I think the place where we were approaching, especially Brad's question, just flat out, were you angry? I stopped for a second to stop thinking about me, the way I was rationalizing, and just was like, let me think about my emotion. And yeah, I was angry. Cut and dry. So I'm not looking for any right or wrong. You're right, angry, you were wrong.
Can I ask you, was that your first emotion when you heard the story of what happened?
Probably my first emotion, that moment, I felt disappointed because at that moment I was disappointed in my son. I felt disappointed that my son listened to that. Then when I spoke to his father, it turned to anger.
I mean, but what did you say about the actual incident? Like when the son comes home and he's telling you about his day, what was your comment about the actual incident? Forget the father's involvement.
The basic things, of course, oh my gosh. Well, and he kind of gave the rundown. So it's like when he told the initial story, he told it with a lot, I got in a small fender bender, I called, he gave me the rundown, and I saw physically he was okay. Clearly he made it through school and basketball practice. So maybe those initial things, are you okay? Or you're right, as if, I asked that very blanket, just kind of so you sure you're okay? And it wasn't. And he was like, yeah. I handled it the way father told me to. And that's when he led into the piece. And so then I asked the question and I said, well, this happened this morning.
I don't feel any anger anymore. Is that me?
Yeah.
Does anybody else think that the feeling is lost?
The feeling is lost, and it goes deeper than being disappointed.
How did the feeling get lost?
She's thinking of.
Well, I'm wondering,
about the story.
Are you deciding that? Okay, yeah, because you're back in the story. Are you deciding that maybe you can trust that your ex is handling it okay?
Who cares about trusting the ex? She was angry.
You're throwing her back in the story.
Why did we get away from the feeling?
Right.
But what's behind anger? Isn't that fear? What is anger? Fear,
boundaries, uncertainty, values, danger. Yeah.
Right.
We're told that anger is something we're supposed to conceal and hide and suppress because we always have to be happy. But her initial question
if we do that here, we're just as bad as a narcissist.
Exactly.
But her initial question was she was concerned about being an angry black woman, right?
Yes. See, that was her gaslighting herself.
Right. Exactly.
No, she wasn't.
I was about to say that.
Did you
What's
say that?
wrong
Or
with
did you
being
say
an
he
angry
said
black
that?
woman?
No,
What's wrong with being an angry black woman?
She opened with
that.
Yeah,
good.
Controlling ADW. That was part of Trina's opening, right?
Right.
Trina?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And she said that's her button before, that her ex called her ADW and she would get paralyzed or didn't know how to counter. Right, Trina?
So now you have to question every time you get angry. Am I being appropriate?
But let the record show in one of the tapes the last time we had this conversation, Trina, I advise you to be an angry black woman if you ever saw him again.
Yeah, work it out.
At the wedding.
Got permission from Eric.
There you
How
go.
did you forget that?
There you go. Let it out.
Thank you.
Stamped and approved by Eric.
Stamped and approved.
Thank you.
Nice.
So Trina,
something really verboten about being an angry black woman. That's
Say that again, Brad.
There is something
There's
verboten about
something-
it, right? It can get you fired. It can get you it can get you in a lot of things. But in this situation, it's more like a trigger.
I think, yeah, that's a good point. I would, yeah, to Adria's point, there is something forbidden about being an angry Black woman, and I think that that's part of the gaslighting manipulation that's going on here. He knows he can manipulate you with that.
When I see television programs here in New Zealand, I just have a feeling that American Black women mainly are angrier than normal women.
Normal women.
That's a stereotype that's being presented on acted on television.
Wow.
Big money making stereotype here.
I'm trying to do it, but it's not working.
What, you were trying to trigger something? What were you trying to do?
Poor Punkage.
We're
about to cancel you, Punkage.
Cancel me.
Dox him. Dox
I'm
him.
about to dox you.
You
I mean,
better
his
get on
point-
with it,
Trina.
because I'm going to start talking
Yes.
about apples very soon.
When you came here first, you felt you were gaslit. Now that you've had multiple questions and interactions, do you feel you're less gaslit or equally gaslit or differently gaslit? Where are you on the gaslit scale?
I don't think I was gaslit. I actually think I was angry and triggered. I mean,
Yes, but right now,
oh, right now?
did you notice a gaslighting from other members, including the
No.
one who just left?
If I'm being honest, no.
Who left?
Maybe.
JB.
JB.
You
She ain't
remember when
nobody.
JB
I
jumped
can't
in?
even see that person.
JB jumped in with injunctions like, "We're here to make you tell your story and you feel validated."
Sounds familiar?
Apples.
Then let me go dive into your story, Trina. Let me control your mind by telling you to think about the story, and let me guide
Right.
you away from anger.
Right.
Yeah. So I didn't recognize it happening in the group.
So you're
I
still
perceived it
susceptible
as-
to narcissists.
I perceived it as genuine help, like, oh, they're trying to introduce other possible theories and scenarios. So honestly, I didn't even read that in the moment.
Because codependents are notorious for trying to run away from their feelings. So when you brought up something that triggered them, they try to jump in and block it out completely. And that's why you get all 15 different stories from 15 different directions. So that when that happens, they pull you into shreds and rip you apart, and you don't get to experience the feeling, which the initial question, the main thing you asked was, am I an angry Black woman? And then you told the scenario, and then it makes sense that you would be angry. That's the story. Nothing has to do with maybe the husband stuck a finger up his ass and, shot it out. Nobody gives that's not part of the main course. The main course is, you're trying to get to what is
That's
this
the main
anger
course,
about?
my friend. That is
No, everybody in this group, and most people in this group, I don't want to say everybody, but most people in this group, especially the regulars, we already know what narcissists can do and borderlines or whatever. She brought up something about herself. And we started triangulating her, and then, making up stories.
And
yeah.
Fender
And
bender
so
and
that's how gaslighting works. Because at the end,
That's how normal gaslighting worked, but when JB jumped in, she did the group we're here to do this.
Right.
We're here to save you. We know better than you, Trina.
Right. And she completely took it and created a whole nother world within a world that's within a world. And this is how you get lost in the gaslighting. Yeah, this is how you get lost in the gaslighting. It's that simple. It's very simple.
And then she ran away when she failed.
She was ready to validate
called
you,
out.
but you weren't even there.
You said
you
you'd
weren't
no to
looking for
validation,
Mhm.
and she still went. Because she didn't care about the story of validation. That's just a altruistic cover story to say, I'm a helper. I'm a meetup organizer. I love helping people who are abusers. Because I can invade their stories.
And completely
Maybe
miss
there's
what
one
the
or
person
two
said.
leftovers from JB's grouping here. I'm
John
sorry
is
for
not.
shit talking.
John looking like, what the hell is happening right now?
Oh, you ain't
John's from
seen shit
Holly's
yet.
group.
You ain't seen shit yet. This is it. This is black belt shit.
Going down already in the econ.
Oh yeah, I told y'all last week I'm not, I understand now why Adrian, the very beginning was like, I'm a bitch, and I was like, what the fuck? I was that, she's like, I say whatever the fuck I want. And that, it makes sense to me now. Own your voice. Speak up.
I never said that.
Whatever.
Nice.
There's gaslighting.
You're
I'm just
gaslighting me.
coquettish
Look
young
who's
You're
girl.
gaslighting me up.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
They're both
That
gaslighting each
gaslight.
other.
I know. Oh wait, what is this group again? Is this Alcoholics Anonymous?
Right.
Oh my God, I'm in the wrong group. Sorry, y'all. I gotta.
How do you, what is your best defense against gaslighting? Do you just walk away?
Fart.
Well, first, obviously you have to recognize it first, but say you recognize it. What's
You
your
let
best
the
move?
person gaslight. You just don't believe it.
Right.
They're
Listen,
invading your reality. Now,
They
you
want
don't want.
you to react.
I would say you don't want to
Do
be
it.
so blocking all feedback that you're just an echo chamber.
Mm. Right.
So if one person's crazy and then other people are not matching them, then that's okay. But if 10 people are saying the same sort of message, it might be worth asking, okay, what's the evidence?
Unless all 10 people are gaslighting you, in which case you're really fucked then.
20.
Yes, which is what this group does. So.
Yeah,
Another
well, you
thing
know,
too-
we're
But
experts.
you've had a history of, the US at least. You've had a political history of being gaslighted, gaslit, whatever you want to say. So it should be familiar territory. You just
We
don't
lost
watch
Jennifer,
certain
another new person.
television.
We're just knocking them out left and right.
See, this is not going well, Dave.
Like
Or is
bowling.
it?
Like bowling.
There's only one new person left. There are two. John's invited from
Kian.
Holly, so John's probably okay.
John is
Kian's
a brave
probably
soul.
freaking out.
Who else
And
is new?
Kian.
Kian.
Let's go have a countdown until the last two newbies run away. How
They're
long
not
will
done. Now,
Kian
John
are going
is
to run
like,
away?
this is some bullshit. These people crazy. I think
It's
but it might be
New Jersey. He
entertaining.
knows how
They
to
don't
handle
even-
himself.
They
He
don't
looks
even say
entertaining.
goodbye.
Yeah.
They just hit and run.
She did
They
say
just-
goodbye. She
Oh,
did say
But
goodbye.
they totally have a right to leave. This is not, and you guys, come on, you guys know this is not the conventional group
Bye, Kurt.
thing. It's not, I can see how someone can come in and get hit by a running
This
train.
is reality.
Whoa.
And
But
yeah,
she
did
this is
say
reality.
goodbye.
Suck it up.
Exactly.
That's what I think.
Exactly.
Well,
This is
Jennifer
the real, this is
wasn't
how it
part of
happens in the
JB's
real
group.
world.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
most of JB's
Nihama,
group
I
is
wanted
gone.
to go back to what you said about how do you know? Like it was one of the things that I had to learn to do. And again, I learned from this group. You have to listen to people very attentively. Because they're gonna, no matter how they twist the story, there's a truth within it. And once you find that truth, I'm not saying like laser beam lock in, but you have to listen attentively. So I say, Nihama, and you turn around, I got your attention. Now, the thing is that attention is very expensive. So you have to treat it accordingly. So you listen to what I have to say to you. So if I say, am I wrong? Okay, so I'm starting with, I feel guilty about something. Am I wrong? And then I tell you a whole story about how I put the ice cream in the thing, but then my car broke down. But then did you know that there's this other place that sells cars that are cheaper than the blah, blah, blah. Remember what I told you in the beginning? I said, am I wrong? You see what I'm saying? So what do you feel wrong about? And I go, well, you haven't been listening to me this whole time. Well, you know what? I'm gonna stop because that's the problem. You don't listen when people are telling you shit. You just don't listen. You know what? Never mind. You go, no. Tell me. I'm like, no, you know what, Nihama? It's okay. It's okay. That's gaslight. That's how it happens. Subtle. So now, the next time someone is talking to you, I will tell that person, Nihama does not listen when you're talking to them. And then the news starts spreading.
And then you can build a whole new grand narrative.
Exactly. And now you start doubting yourself the more you hear that story.
Okay.
I'm lost. I got lost there. But
exactly. You're supposed to be lost.
Exactly.
That's all right. We'll tell you
Because
what to
just
think.
gaslighting.
You're not
Adrian. Don't
listening,
worry about it.
Adrian. That's why you got
Perfect.
lost, because you're
I'm
not listening.
And I know that
Right.
will spread. That'll be spread. I get that. Okay.
Right. And that's what I learned, because I was one of those people where I'll just listen for trigger words when someone is telling a story, and I fell for it a lot. So I would hear something that interests me. I'm like, bing, oh, okay, well, you said that, and meanwhile, by this time, I'm completely lost. And I'll try to pick up. So that's actually, let me count. That's about 7 cents.
Take it.
Without knowing the language, initially, gaslighting, don't know it, so you learn it. And then initially for me, it's just a narcissist does it. But as this is opening up, it's as if the biggest gaslighting is done by codependents. That's where I'm feeling that.
Well, I mean, they're both gaslighting themselves. Yeah, it's different.
Type, which actually, and if you mainly stay around codependent, it's worse because you can't be who you are because everyone's pulling you in different directions.
Yes.
Yeah, we didn't even have Brenda here to say it. She would have rescued you like the Coast Guard.
Oh, rescuing is so beautiful, though. Being
I have a
rescued.
question.
Brenda would have shut that down absolutely.
Val has a
in New York
question.
minute.
I have a question. So in the dialogue box, when she was talking, I wrote, "What's the problem?"
Yes.
My question is, so when I said, "What's the problem?" I wanted to know what was the problem with ABW. And is that just asking more questions? I mean, is that any form of gaslighting or not?
It's not gaslighting, but there's a part where that question is necessary.
I'm sorry, what?
You said what, Adrian?
Oh, okay, got it.
I said it's just tiring.
Oh, okay.
Adrian just had as the racial commentary.
The question is not good or bad alone.
Right.
It's the motive behind the question. It's how it's used. It's the context of the question would be whether or not it's more gaslighting or more building a bridge.
Right.
Because you could use a question to intellectualize, dissociate very easily.
Right.
Nahama. You're about to say something?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you. No, I was just adding on about the context, about when it's brought up and why it's brought up and so on, so forth.
Now, this is advanced teaching for codependents. Codependents, when they feel a strong emotion, that's when they act out and have to suffocate people.
Yes, because we have a terror of negative emotions.
In ourselves and in others.
Put out the fire.
Particularly in others.
I did a great
Including
job.
ourselves.
The terror of negative emotions in yourself and in others. The terror of negative emotions in yourself and in others. The terror of negative codependency, ladies and gentlemen, and in others. It is a terror of negative emotions. No choice, no freedom. Terror to serve, to submit, to fawn, to supplicate. It is the terror of negative emotions in yourself and in others.
And she was ready to supplicate, to validate you, Trina. She was going to validate you to the ends of the earth.
And Trina said no, and she didn't care. She kept going on script.
I'm going to validate you, God damn it, whether you like it or not.
That's the dirtiest thing I've heard all week. Thank you, Brad.
Daddy.
Validate me, baby.
Daddy.
All night long.
I'm a
This is
validating
like
machine.
a new record. How many newbies did we scare off in one meeting?
He knocked them all out. Yeah, they're all
No,
gone. Oh,
there's
John's
some-
yeah.
We
John's
still
here
have
with Holly
Ken and
Val.
John.
Val's
John is
she's-
Jersey strong. That's why he's still here.
Val is a second timer. She can tolerate this.
Well, we got rid of all of them, Dave. Fantastic.
Now let's let the real party begin.
You shouldn't be proud of that, y'all. This is embarrassing. I came to
Yes,
this
it's
for
embarrassing.
healing.
We only like
Where does the
Val,
healing
John,
begin?
and
And the
Kian.
safety.
Where is the healing?
And the safety.
We don't
It's
do
supposed to
healing
be a
here
safe
anytime.
space. This
I'm
is not
feeling
safe.
triggered right now. I'm feeling triggered right now.
And I think everybody.
It's not a safe place. It's just like anybody can show up.
Did it
and tell
mod
you
leave us
anything
too?
that you want to say, and we're gonna
Oh, we
be
lost
triggered
him on.
again.
I'll be back.
Oh.
And I just wonder, where is the healing on this? I'm just feeling really attacked right now. I don't know what triggered that person. Really attacked right now. I don't know if she's gonna be okay after this. My nervous system is really really high right now. Really attacked.
I'm gonna walk my dog. I'll be back.
We'll see you soon.
Well, I would have thought the newbies would have sort of thought this might be interesting, but no, run away.
Yeah, the video. We missed the video.
Why is it our responsibility?
Fine.
I'm just feeling really attacked right now.
There we go.
I'm just feeling really attacked right now. I'm really worked up right now. My nervous system is really high right now. I'm really worked up. I don't know what triggered that person.
I don't know what triggered all those new people.
I don't know
We
what
should feel
triggered that
bad.
person. I don't know if she's gonna be okay. I'm really worked up right now. My nervous system is really high right now. I'm really worked, and I just wonder.
John's smiling. Maybe he's enjoying this.
And I just wonder.
I told you he's a
Maybe
meme.
we've converted him.
That's your problem. That's your problem. That's your problem. That's your problem.
Oh, no.
It's not my concern. 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 It's not.
We're so cold. We're so evil. Why aren't we rescuing people?
Reptilian.
I know.
Sucks.
How dare
Still my
us?
post said.
All the newbies are children who we need to take care of and take responsibility for. That's what it is.
Deep does get very triggered by that. Like when people leave, I think it like stresses Deep out.
Does it really?
Yes.
Yeah,
It does.
like before, like we changed like our description to make sure people knew that they were coming into insanity, because people would, like that lady would come in and be like,
It's not safe.
why are this is too mean.
I can see how you could get whiplash coming in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but didn't you get? I got the feeling at the beginning with all the newbies, there was this. My feel initially was we were being inspected, and we were being scrutinized.
Yeah.
And we were going to be deemed to be acceptable or not. There was all this, and and it got into a bit of tutting with Trina, and I think that they all went, "Oh, this is all a bit too much. I need to go away now." I think perhaps staying and thrashing it out would have been a better move.
Yeah,
I think
ideally,
it's a
but
cultural
everybody.
element. Like this is very rude. You know, Midwesterners are not rude like this. They make a line.
I don't think this is rude.
No,
I think this is real
people
life.
here, we can ask them if they were, inspecting us like a zoo and judging us and deciding if there's worthwhile to
This is real
stay
life.
or
This is
spend
how
their
people
precious
act.
time.
Yeah, I do that when I go.
I give a fuck what you're observing. Listen,
Oh,
get into a
that
group.
crazy Nigerian.
Yeah,
You're a
yeah,
validation addict,
You
then
don't
you're
start.
gonna run away.
Let
They're
me
validation
finish my
addicts will run.
statement. Holly, remain quiet. I have to finish my
Make
statement.
quiet.
You brought out
Go ahead,
the
go
African.
ahead.
You brought out the Nigerian in me.
Just go and sing a Kuda Matata. We'll be happy there.
Go for it.
Wrong country, wrong language,
No,
wrong side of Africa.
Okay.
Oh, it's all the same.
And
guys-
I have to thank you for that belly laugh. That was the first belly laugh I had all day, and it felt really good.
You guys forget I'm a recovered Midwesterner, so I know these feelings. It's deep down inside. I react deeply to these emotional transgressions. But
Yeah, they're very. I'm telling you, it's cultural.
Yeah, it
Midwesterners
is.
are
It
very
is.
like formal and orderly.
yeah,
for
yeah,
real?
no, I was trained
Yeah.
to be a codependent from where I grew up.
Oh.
My
Yeah,
church was
we
very
need to
Midwestern.
toughen some of you up a little bit.
Is there a code of conduct that Midwesterners are like covertly agreeing to that I might?
They're like Scandinavian kind of, so they are they like do things on a line.
Yeah,
and they
it's
like,
there's that
do
subversive
things.
racism too, just like Scandinavia. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, it's like
not all
Lake
beer and Skittles
Wobegon.
over there.
It's like Garrison Keeler.
I don't know for a fact that Garrison was
Is that,
racist.
is
but-
that something you get at Costco, Adria? What's that?
I don't know any of the references.
It's like a show on the NPRs. It's over now.
NPR.
But he was an accoster of
Hmm.
women, but he had the show Prairie Home Companion. I even went when I was many years ago and when I came to New York. Yeah.
Oh.
The habits of the Norwegian bachelor farmers in the Midwest.
That is so
Yes.
neat.
That brings in you meaning to
Lutherans.
Norwegian wood, doesn't it?
He would go on and on about the Lutherans.
And the Lutherans, yeah.
Hmm.
Stereotyping is fun, Pankaj. Like you said we're not even
we should do
normal
that with
women. I'm not even a normal woman, Pankaj.
That stereotype Kiwis, New Zealanders. New Zealanders are stereotyped as sheep fuckers, so that's good.
Indian woman, you know?
Where the men are men and the sheep are scared.
And the sheep are nervous. Yes. More sheep than people.
You're talking from
She
experience,
should be
right?
nervous. Maybe we should start off the next meeting with this. That'll keep people around.
We were all very well behaved for the first 15 minutes, I might add.
Why are we trying to keep people around?
Too well behaved.
I need my fix in 10 minutes. No, it's the time's running out. I need it right now. I think that's what I felt they were feeling.
Oh yeah.
I know, especially,
What did you
especially
feel?
when you like
Oh,
sheep
they wanted
fucking.
a fix.
They wanted a fix. They wanted a validation
knowledge,
fix.
some
And
quick
they wanted
knowledge.
to
No, that-
to rescue Trina.
Or even before that, it's like if you left early as well. I think I need it quickly. I need a soundbite every 5 minutes. You know, like
What's the codependent fix again? That was from last week. What's the codependent fix? Supply?
gaslight.
To fix other people. To fix other people.
Yeah.
Save the world.
I think the fixing is another word for gaslighting.
No.
Yeah, I do
No,
do that in my
something-
group. I do help
Don't-
people
don't
fix
think
their
so.
Oh,
problems.
wait.
Oh, that's
Pankaj must
interesting.
be onto something there. Let me think
That's
about
what
that
I'm- that's what
because
I'm
that's interesting.
It is kind of a like you're telling them it's okay. It's going to be all right. You know, it's okay to feel that way. You know, make all the disagreeable emotions go away. It's a kind of gaslighting, I think.
Yeah. Deef, if you don't mind, can you bring up you remember the diagram, the map that you had that had the two U-shaped loops where you were like one side it's like it starts with a pain experience and like you were talking about how to hold
Yeah, that's
space.
it. That's the
And
one. Look.
Which one? I can't see Deef's.
This one. What?
Yes,
Can't see
that's
me?
it. That's exactly what happened. Boom.
Pay
That
attention,
right there.
John.
That
Teach John a
right there
lesson.
is what happened. So someone
They wanted
came with a
pity.
pity story, and then the codependents
to
did
join.
the one to they joined the story, and then they created doubt and anxiety, and then started giving different stories. And number two, like, oh, maybe the husband, blah blah blah, and then gave false hope and comfort, like, oh well, maybe it'll be okay, and then they throw her away. Meanwhile, the main thing was,
Abandoned.
I'm angry. And instead of us sitting with that anger, we didn't hold space for her to really sit with that anger and think, so that way she can compassionately think of, consider herself.
Because it's not
So,
about her.
right.
It's about feeding off her misery.
But also Trina is also doing 1, 2, 3 on the inside in the red by gaslighting herself.
About judging
When she
yourself.
has,
for
when she
being
has
angry.
a true feeling about,
Then shaming
what,
yourself.
right,
Ah,
Silencing your inner truth.
exactly.
Or
That's
even
like a
the
dance.
rewriting part, right? Like now that I'm looking at that again, rewriting my emotions, like hearing Brad say, but how did you feel? And me getting back to angry, like, wait, why am I trying to rewrite the fact that I felt angry? I felt angry and it was okay. And
Well,
here are all the
Yeah,
reasons.
you're in that loop. You can see it. It was really,
Yeah.
that's why you were talking about the accident and the insurance and all that. And what was going on? Was that resentment or anger? It was perfect.
Right.
Perfect.
And rewriting the angry because, again, the trigger, don't want to be the ABW, but be rewriting the anger also because it's like, no, I'm mom and mom is compassionate and like all these whatever long list of reasons, but this almost automatic pilot of, oh, no, I need to rewrite the angry. And if I convince myself that there was some validity to what he said and this and that, then it's not all these things. Yeah, it makes sense now. I
Yeah.
can see how it's just.
So that's
Both
how
sides.
you know, like
No.
you were being gaslit because of that diagram. And once you understand that, again, you started with a pain experience, and normally someone's supposed to, you know, hold space for you to come to your own, you know, like naturally come to your own because you have time to consider it. But because everybody jumped in, you were left on the left-hand side of what was going on. And remember, you're already internally doing that to yourself. So it makes it even worse. So after the whole, that's why after all the advice you were given, you'll end up noticing, like, I still feel bad somehow.
Okay, Trina, start over.
Yes.
No, thank you.
Good.
Correct answer.
As we say in the Caribbean, party done.
Party done.
Party finish. Three
I
steps.
like that. Party done.
Oh. You're welcome, Trina. We gaslit you. Anyone else want to be gaslit? Okay.
I'm trying to cut down, but thanks for the offer.
That's today's
On a
meeting.
diet.
A little light breakfast gaslighting, no thanks.
But it's self-directed too. That's the main one. That's what I'm sort of feeling.
Yeah.
That's the main gaslight. I will perfect the art of gaslighting me. See, that would be the real poetry. Fuck.
Or like the thing in you that makes you want to believe what the other person says, like the thing that won't let you stand firm in your conviction. Yeah.
Trying to make sense of bullshit.
It's like us assuming that the people who are leaving the group are leaving because of what we're doing. They're leaving strictly on their own terms. I give a fuck why you're leaving.
It's us.
You know what I mean? You know, they have a right to
I
leave.
did it.
It's actually
It's me.
Kurt, actually.
They have a right
It's all
to
Kurt.
leave.
Yeah.
But Anaya, it's us, and we're okay with that. We don't
It's Gonzo.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and that too.
How do you know?
That can be it. Yeah. Exactly. How do you know? That's
Maybe like,
gaslighting.
I don't know, a plane just crashed into their house. That would be kind of important to leave. I don't know. You don't know what's going on. Maybe they wanted a group that was about, I don't know, some other topic, and they're like, oh, you know what? This touches like 25% of it. I actually don't need this particular group.
I think
as amazing as we are.
But even with that,
the topic was perfect.
You're still trying to figure out what they might be thinking, and it's
I'm
like
saying there could be a million other options. Who cares?
Right. They left.
It doesn't have to
End
do
of
with
story.
me. It could have to do with me. I have
It
no
has to
freaking
do with
clue.
me.
You're gaslighting
It's
yourself.
my
again.
identity,
Stop.
this group.
Right.
Saying there's no way for you to know. So you can make up a story and ascribe to it, or you could just say whatever. I don't know. It's not
They
my
all
business.
reject
It's
me
not my
because I'm a
concern.
loser.
It ended at
I am not
when
good
they
enough.
left. When they left, that's it. That's the end of
You're
the
not
story. You
listening
don't
to
even
Deep.
need. You don't need a reason.
Feeling bad.
You know,
Well,
there's
Dave
no
thinks it's
reason.
'cause
You don't.
it's his fault.
It is
Yeah,
my
and then
fault.
and then he's projecting it onto y'all, and then y'all gonna take that on, and then be like,
Yeah,
no,
but
no,
if
no,
the-
Deef, no, I'm gonna save you. Wait, Deef, let me
But
help
if the
you out
goal
here.
of the group is
You're the
the goal of the
amazing
group is-
guy. Oh no, it's not.
So Deep's feelings
So
are
the-
not a neocon's concerns. That's good.
It is not your concern.
It's not my concern.
That's what the
I'm
group
sorry.
has learned, to not care about these feelings. That was
I care about
Exactly.
these feelings. It's
I don't.
Dave, you're a bit freaked
early
out.
in
You're a bit
Zoom,
freaked out
like
you
the
had
pain of
35.
invisibility. I was dumping my guts, and people were gaslighting me,
Right.
and that was the topic.
That sounds terrible.
You almost
That's
got Adria
codependence.
to go and attack an imaginary person on YouTube. No, okay.
I don't know how to stop. That's Iman's job.
We lost him. Maybe he got triggered too.
He's on a date.
Is he
He's
on a date? Why is he talking to us on a date?
He had to get back into his skiff.
This is not the group I would bring to a date.
Yeah, what? Is that true, Codependents?
Wait, who's on a date?
Iman?
Iman.
Oh, that's great.
Number one, Iman.
Why is this a bad date? This is an amazing group for a
Yeah,
date.
remember Brenda used to
Trauma
bring her dates here?
Yeah, Brenda did bring her date.
She
Gotta start the
did. But you know
gaslighting
what?
sooner
And
or later.
Brenda's single. So there you go.
She's single again?
Again. For
Yeah.
how long? Who knows?
Yeah.
That came out wrong.
It's a serial
Oh,
thing.
look, it's
Don't worry
10,
about it.
15 minutes. She'll be fine.
10, 15 minutes.
Nice. I'm keeping the time.
Oh, yeah, Kurt, that's a good point. That when people leave, especially if they're triggering, Deef, you seem to get a little annoyed at that because we lose opportunity for all the fun triggering and gaslighting and resentment and all that stuff.
I think you personally like, I didn't do something. Do you?
Do I what?
Do you feel like you didn't do something? Why people leave? Or didn't do something right?
That's what T
It's
said.
hard to get an honest answer.
T gave a comment in private saying, when does it start? Then I said, it's coming. Then T left.
Yeah, because he's saying, but I need my fix now.
Yeah.
It was the infantile editing or childish editing.
Childish editing.
Hey, listen, we need to have some empathy because a plane crashed into her house, okay? So, be nice.
Yeah, but Deef dropped it down.
I did it.
You should have anticipated the plane crash, though. Like if he said the right word in the group, then maybe the plane wouldn't crash.
Plane would have stayed up. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, there's science to all of this, I'm sure.
Dance.